Does your business lack line of sight into your market? Use excess paperwork? Have trouble delivering sales on time due to inefficient driver tracking or inconsistent driver routing? No reasons given when your orders are not fulfilled? Welcome to Solutions in Hand, a mobile-centric platform. Meet Papin. Papin has a sales and distribution company by the name of Water by Papin. The company sells and delivers bottled water to a customer base. Water by Papin has 3 employees: Palesa, who is the sales and distribution manager and runs the day-to-day business activities; Romeo, who is a sales rep that captures orders and executes the sales strategy plans; and King, the driver that delivers and processes the orders. Let's start the day with Palesa at the company head office. Palesa starts her day by logging into the Solutions in Hand system, which she has already created her customer base, customer groups, routes, price groups, products and product types. She reviews her operations dashboard for the previous day, as well as any historic period that she chooses to analyze. The dashboard will show key KPIs that she uses to manage the business. The details on the dashboard and supporting reports will help her plan her strategy that day and for whatever select period into the future. Palesa is well aware that the success of the business is based on the sales generated by her sales rep Romeo. So once she has reviewed all of her KPI related results for the previous period and adjusts her sales target for the future period, she will go to the call cycle tab to plan all the sales calls scheduled for Romeo. In addition to just generating orders, Romeo has an added responsibility to gather information about the client whilst on the client's premises. Palesa creates and maintains the data gathering template that she requires under the Forms tab and then publishes it from the dashboard. As soon as Romeo logs into the system, the latest Forms template will appear as a mandatory requirement to be completed on his visit. Once this is all done, Romeo's schedule is ready for him to commence. Romeo starts his day by logging in to retrieve his call cycle for the day as planned by Palesa. Once his initial login is completed, he is now confident about completing his tasks for the day, as the application that has been supplied to him on his Android device has a full out-of-coverage capability. All data will be synchronized to the system backend whenever there's a data connection. After arriving at his first customer, Romeo selects the customer detail from the call cycle, confirms the location and the customer details, then proceeds to the information dashboard to preview his previous visit notes. This allows him to have a much closer interaction with his client and have continuity from his previous sales call. Because his product is water and ideally sold cold, part of the company's strategy is to supply a cooler to brand and sell the water from. And every visit that he makes to the client, he needs to check the status of the cooler. So in order to confirm that the asset is there, he goes to the Forms tab and starts with an asset verification process to check on the cooler and make sure that it is in a good state of health. Once the verification process is completed, he then begins with a form that Palesa has created in the morning. Romeo goes through the form and answers the questions required to give Palesa detail on items such as sales price, forward market share, stock availability, compared pricing, etc. Romeo, in this process, notices that one of his competitors is also running a promotion. He uses the Take a Pic function within the application to capture the promo and submits it with his form for Palesa to review under the Salesforce dashboard. Once completed, the form is submitted, and Romeo is now able to move on to the Sales tab to capture an order as per the customer's request. Before he captures the order, he starts off by checking the sales history for the customer. He conducts a stock take on the products the customer has in stock just to ensure that he can recommend how much the customer should order of each product. Once completed, he captures all the different products and quantities from the product list along with any returns that the customer might have. He selects the customer preferred payment method and prints a quotation for the customer to confirm the order. The customer confirms that the order is correct and Romeo submits the order. After the order submission, he checks for the future call dates in the Info tab to inform the customer of his next proposed visit and exits the application. Meanwhile, at the warehouse, Palesa checks on Romeo's client visits by going into the Salesforce dashboard. She uses the dashboard to see how far Romeo is from his next site, and she clicks on the Get Location button to tag Romeo's current GPS location. Palesa then goes to the pre-sales dashboard to plan a shipment for King the driver to deliver to the customer that Romeo has placed orders for. Due to the nature of the business and the history of order change requests on delivery, she takes care to add some additional spare product into the delivery vehicle. She selects each order but makes sure not to exceed the load capacity of the delivery vehicle. She then selects the vehicle and driver to deliver the stock. After picking the shipment, Palesa then moves the stock on the system to show it as ready to load and advises King to be ready to deliver. She prints the loading sheet and hands it over to King. King logs in on his device to confirm that he sees all orders and stock as per the loading sheet printed by Palesa. He conducts an opening stock process on the device and confirms the vehicle details. King leaves the warehouse and heads to his first customer. King arrives, selects the customer as displayed on the device. He confirms the GPS location and updates the customer details. He then selects the sales tab where he is able to process or adjust the customer's order as may be required. Once the order details are finalized, King is able to print an invoice for the customer, producing 2 copies of the invoice. Once the invoice is signed, cash or proof of payment is collected or credit terms signed off against. King then moves on to his next customer. King arrives at his next customer and selects the customer on his call cycle. He goes through the customer's order in order to process it, and during the process the customer asks King if he could have more stock. Due to the flexibility of the system, he's able to provide the customer with more stock by conducting an out-of-van sale. He opens the van sale option on the screen, selects the products that the customer would like to buy, including the quantity as well, then provides the customer with an invoice, collects payment and moves on to his next delivery. Whilst King makes his way to the next customer, Palesa can check how far King is with his deliveries by going to the Delivered tab on the pre-sales dashboard. Here the system shows who King has visited and at what time he was there and what deliveries have already been made. After completing all the deliveries, King arrives back at the warehouse. He checks in all the stock not sold from his opening stock and provides a closing odometer reading. Once this is complete, Palesa then prints a check-in sheet to check all the stock and returns from the deliveries that King has made. She adds the quantities and checks in the shipment. She then conducts a stock take at the end of the day to make sure all the stock is accounted for and posts the stock take in the branch stock take dashboard. Once this is done, Palesa logs off and leaves for the day. Papin himself has also had a busy day. Been out in the trade doing account development. But now he's home and he needs to touch sides with what has happened through his business for the day. He logs into the system remotely via internet and goes through all the different reports that are available to him. Deliveries, transactions, sales, and stock take, closing and opening. He knows exactly what has happened within his business for the day. Before Papin joined Solutions in Hand, his business was manually driven. But since he automated and he's put his business into Solutions in Hand, he's now able to do the following: manage his staff adherence through the use of a call cycle, track his sales staff movements as they move from customer to customer, view his KPI alignments across all staff platforms via the system, make sure that his sales force is productive through time management. He's got real-time business intelligence of what's happening in trade, of his own products and customers as well. His sales data is in real time. His orders generated in trade are clean and there's no need for credit notes. Distribution and logistics planning, including his stock management, is all automated. Make the best decision for your company and join Solutions in Hand.